So, the official trailer for the Michael Jackson biopic named Michael has officially dropped. So let's discuss it. Yes, another episode of the Porter Says podcast is upon your eyes, people. I want to thank you so much for tuning into this one. So as I said in the beginning, I'm going to be discussing the new trailer for Michael, which is the Michael Jackson biopic. I watched the trailer about 3 or 4 times. I'm going to get straight into it. The first thing I want to say about this film in particular is that I think the casting is perfect. Especially Jafar Jackson, who is Michael Jackson's nephew, like in real life. It is ridiculous how much he sounds like Michael and how much they've made him look like him, the dance moves, everything. It's about as perfect as you could get to cast someone as the King of Pop himself. But even the people who are playing his family, he got Nia Long as his mother. I really like her as an actress. The guy actually playing his father, the people playing the Jackson 5, like his brothers, Miles Teller. So it seems to me we're going to be really kind of diving in deep to the early years of his life and kind of the struggles he went through as being a pop star somewhat as a kid. Even though he was part of the Jackson 5, people mostly really focused on him in particular. Not because he was the youngest, just because they seemed to think that, well, he clearly has the most talent out of these 5 brothers, which all of them are very talented. But I think people really kind of focused on him, and their father especially was like, look, I don't want you to do what I'm doing as a job right now. You guys want to get out there, you're going to fight for what you want. It's like, yes, sir, But you can tell that once Michael gets into his older years as a young 20-year-old or however old he was when he went solo in his solo career, he says in the trailer that I've just got all these ideas. I love my family, but I've got all these ideas in my head and I just want to go places. And there's a scene where he's talking to one of his friends and he's like, Michael, go for it. You're not a little boy anymore. This is, if you want to do it, do it. To my knowledge, I believe it's kind of covering his life as when he was in the Jackson 5 all the way up to the Bad tour, because it seems like that's what they're going for, which is great because I don't think they'd want to go any further into his story, especially in the later years. Yeah, so as I said, the pressure from his father, and that's kind of essentially what led him to go solo. I think it was too much for him, and also, again, he said he had all these ideas, and he thinks that, the music, I think music can change the world, and it can bring a lot of magic and wonder and joy to so many people. I think one of my biggest worries is that they might play it a bit too safe, or at least a little, play it safe or at least too. You know what I mean? I hope they don't go super, super safe and in the generic route, but I would be fine if they went a little bit safe, if that makes sense. That's essentially what I was trying to say. I just wonder how many of these iconic songs are we going to get to hear, and are they really going to go into even how much kind of pressure it would take him to do even his own solo work. It seems like there's going to be a lot of iconic moments in this film. So him doing Billie Jean, on I think the Motown show that he did. So we get to see that. Looks like we're going to get to see that brought to life to the big screen. I don't know how much of the Bad tour we're going to see. I feel like the movie could end there potentially, or at least end once he's done it, or at least the first concert and the first show of the tour. I am just part of me is a little skeptical because Michael Jackson, his music has meant the world to me for years. And it kind of made me think were we ever going to get a biopic about his life? They're really covering the Jackson 5 era and then him going solo and then obviously up to the Bad tour. Jafar Jackson, again, looks like he's doing an amazing job. So I really hope they do his story well and don't fuck up the timeline. That's all I'm hoping for. I just want a good movie that tells the story well and does it justice, does him justice, makes these songs even more iconic than they already are, bring a whole new generation. And just as the big Michael Jackson fan that I am in terms of his music, I just want a good film. Yeah, that's all I'm going to discuss. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. It was a little bit rambly and kind of didn't really feel super structured, but I didn't really have a ton to say. Like the movie looks like it's going to be really good, and I think it's going to not break the box office, but it could make a lot of money. And the director, I think it's someone Fuqua. He's done a couple of movies. He did a movie called Fruitvale Station, which I have talked about, and that was a great movie. So I think this movie is going to be on the same level. So I hope you consider subscribing and checking out my merch store and all that good stuff. And yeah, have a good rest of your day, guys, and I'll catch you next time.